Hey guys, Walsh here. All joking aside, this is a short video designed to get new recruits to the section up to speed so that we can skip the basic stuff and move on to more intermediate training during our section practices. What we will cover in this video are the loadouts, crew positions and duties within those positions, communications, both intercopter and with ATC, and finally the startup procedures. The first time you load into a training server, you will likely find yourself in a position similar to this, near the airport terminal at what we call LZ Crystal. Generally, at the top end of LZ Crystal, you will find a VAS ammo box. That is where you would go in order to build this loadout. Once you have built the loadout correctly, you can save it for a quick 2-key load up, which I highly recommend. Let's take a look at our loadout now. For clothing, we have helicopter pilot coveralls in olive. We have a tac vest, also in olive. I'm going to skip the radio for now. We have a helicopter pilot helmet, NATO edition. You can also, if you're a crewman, use the crew chief or the helicopter crew helmet. It just has a faceplate. NV goggles, binoculars. You got a sidearm P9 with one mag loaded, a watch, a compass, a GPS or a rugged tablet, and a map. Inside the pockets of our coveralls, we have 2 additional mags for the pistol. We have 2 first aid kits. These are the pockets of our tac vest. 2 first aid kits, 3 blue smoke grenades, 3 white smoke grenades, 3 blue chem lights, 2 explosive charges. Make sure you get the explosive charge, not the satchel. The satchel take up a significant amount more space. This does leave us a little bit of additional space in the tac vest and in your pockets if you want to throw a couple extra mags, some different colored chem lights, or another smoke grenade. That's fine. Our radios that we operate with, short range radios are AN/PRC 152, and our long ranges are RT 1523G ASIP. These radios are from Task Force Radio. If you're not familiar with it, you can open the radios short range with the Control P key. It'll bring up your radio. This here is your window with your frequency by channel. You change your channels with the number pad, channels 1 through 8. We operate generally for training in short range channel 100 and long range channel 50. In order to change your frequency, you simply highlight the numbers like you would with any text editor, type in the correct frequency, and then push the enter button to store it under that channel. It should be noted that you can store a different frequency for each channel if you wanted to monitor multiple channels. For instance, transport is working on one channel, an attack is working on another, and ground is working on another, etc. You just use the num key to switch to whatever channel you want. To adjust it, press enter to store. I will adjust channel 1 to our standard operating frequency of 100. Once you store the channel, do a comms check and verify somebody in your squad can hear you. And use escape to close out of the radio. Open the long range radio with the Alt P key. And it's the same deal here. You highlight this frequency like you would with any text editor, punch in the frequency that's desired, and then press Freak to set. Again, you can use the numlock Control plus numlock keys to cycle through the different channels, or these buttons here alternatively will take you through the different channels. And once you have that one set, Control plus caps lock to broadcast, and you'll do a comms check on that as well. Once you have your radios set up and the proper loadout, you just double time it up here to the flight line, where you will line up on this yellow line, drop your weapon using left control twice, and just stand by for orders from your squad leader. Positions within the airframe include pilot, co-pilot, right door gunner, and crew chief, who is also the left door gunner. Pilot's responsibilities are to fly the aircraft and keep everyone aboard safe, to communicate with the crew chief regarding cargo and troops in the back, as well as navigation, and to communicate with ATC regarding all clearances for startups, arrivals, departures, etc. The co-pilot when applicable, will observe the pilot, how they fly, try to gain some more expertise as they work towards being a full-fledged winged pilot. Additionally, they are responsible to fly the aircraft if the pilot happens to be shot out. Door gunner responsibilities include alerting the pilot to any possible obstructions, most critically on landings, also on takeoffs. This means you would tell them about trees, rock walls, uneven ground, anything like that when we're coming into an LZ to land or if we're departing. Remember, the pilot cannot see this side of the aircraft at any time. Additionally, you call out contacts, radar, or visual. Ideally, you would call them out with a compass heading bearing, a range, and a target type, and whether enemy friendly or unknown. That's not always possible, however. Sometimes you may use the clock face format, or you just may have to say right side close, right side rear close, right side rear far. It's all about getting the information to the pilot and the rest of the crew so they can begin to determine what to do. Also, you generally are not weapons free unless you're cleared by the pilot, so don't just discharge your weapon unless you clear with the pilot ROE. We have an enemy helicopter over there as one example for a call. If you were flying along, you could say, pilot right door gun, I've got possible enemy right side rear close. If you had a compass out, which we don't, I do have one available in this view, and I could tell the pilot much more detailed information. Pilot right door gun, I've got enemy helo bearing 097, danger close. Arguably the most taxing position inside the helicopter is the crew chief. Not only do you assume all the duties of the door gunner on the opposite side of the airframe, you are also responsible for all the cargo, be it actual cargo or troops. You must be in constant contact with the squad leader of any infantry that we are carrying, and most critically, you must communicate to the pilot when last man is aboard or last man is out, so we minimize our time on the ground. In addition to these duties, you are also the ship's navigator. You must be very familiar with this map and this compass. You will spend a lot of time heads down in this map. We will provide specialized training for crew chiefs. I will not get into that right now. The gist of it is, once the airframe is outside of controlled airspace, you are responsible to navigate it so the pilot can concentrate on flying. And you must navigate it with a few things in mind. We avoid MSRs, main supply routes. We avoid towns of any size. We avoid silhouetting on peaks or mountaintops. And we avoid large bodies of water. So you are responsible to navigate for your pilot. As you guys work together, you'll gain a greater synergy. You can navigate just by telling them directions, giving them a bearing to fly, or by using landmarks, or just giving a degree of turns. Turn 90 degrees to the left, turn 40 degrees to the right, extend your turn by 15 degrees to the right, etc. Before you can make a correct radio call, you need to understand radio call structure. Anytime you are calling into ATC or command, remember the 4 W's: who, where, and what. The first who are you calling out to? The second who are you making the call? Where are you at, both laterally and vertically? And finally, the what are your intentions or requests?
Pulse Tower Buffalo 1 on LZ Crystal, Pad 3 request bullet. Buffalo 1, Talbot Tower, clear to spool up.
Clear for Sewell Buffalo 1.
Pulse Tower Buffalo 3, northwest of Telos at 100, request inbound full stop. Buffalo 3, Telos ATC, fly heading 18343, then left turn 4040, that will set you up for 04 left, call 1 on final. Fly 18343, left for 040, clear 04 left Buffalo 3. Pulse Tower Buffalo 3, final 04 left. Buffalo 3, clear to land, 04 left. 4 left, taxi Delta for pad 2, Buffalo 3.
Oftentimes you will find yourself operating at an airfield without a manned tower. In this situation, you may use CTAF, which stands for Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, or Unicom, which stands for Universal Communications. For our purposes, the two terms are interchangeable. Both refer to a set frequency that pilots will use to communicate intentions to one another in and around air bases. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to use one of these frequencies, check your mission briefing or NEPAD, or alternatively just broadcast to local pilots over the TeamSpeak channel. Let's briefly touch on communication inside the aircraft's cabin. Oftentimes we do find ourselves with some downtime during the course of a mission, whether we are waiting to be called in for an extract or some similar tasking. At these times it is appropriate to communicate amongst one another in the back of the aircraft. However, you must always be aware of the pilot calling back for a clear comms. At this point, you need to shut up. A clear comms call from the pilot generally means he is in communication with some element on the radio and receiving mission-specific data that requires his undivided attention. You should make ready your station. Also have a pad and pen ready to take down any notes that he may pass back to you, and be prepared for departure. Do not speak until the pilot comes back and gives the all clear. Because we often work with the same pilots, crew chiefs, and co-pilots, everyone will know each other's voices. Therefore, intra-flight communications are simply a matter of stating your message and then awaiting a response from the message recipient. In this example, the right door gunner has seen green smoke at 2 o'clock. He would call over comms, "Green smoke, 2 o'clock." And once the pilot had eyes on, he would respond, "In sight, right seat." In our next example, the pilot tells crew chief to keep his eyes peeled for a high-value target on the left side of the chopper, to which the crew chief, once he had eyes on target, would respond, "HVT, in sight, left gun." You finish all transmissions with the position you are currently occupying, similar to how we finish our radio calls with our call sign. Our startup procedures consist of 8 steps. The first is a chopper walk-around and visual inspection. Second step, pilot will board the chopper, call aboard crewmen individually. Those crewmen will check their stations and report status to the pilot. Third step, after pilot has all crewmen aboard and reported in, he will have the entire crew dismount and return to the flight line. Fourth step, pilot will establish communication with air traffic control. Fifth step, after established communication, pilot will request a engine spool up from ATC. Sixth step, after engine spool up without incident, pilot will request a stability check from ATC. Seventh step, after stability check completed, pilot will land and clear entire crew to board. And finally, the 8th step, after crew is aboard, engine is spooled, stability check is performed, the pilot will report into ATC. Either he is ready for tasking if he has not received already mission data, or B, if he does know his mission, he will request taxi for departure.
Beginning pre-flight inspection. Front of the aircraft seems clear, windows unobstructed. Underbelly appears clear, unobstructed. Left door secure. Left gun free and clear. Left gear serviceable. Left door secure. Left intake free and clear. Left rotor area clear of debris. Left exhaust free and clear. Left side horizontal stabilizer clear, as well as tier rotor free of obstruction. Same goes for the right horizontal stabilizer. Rear wheel, gear and geared door, clear and free of any obstructions. Same goes for the right exhaust and right rotor area. Right door secure. Right side gun free and clear. Right side gear serviceable. Right side pilot door secure. External checks complete. Pilot boarding. Controls are good. Gauges look good.
Pilot to crew chief, clear to board.
Gun has full range motion, 2,000 rounds, 6.5 millimeter, green, green, green.
Roger, pilot 2, right door gunner, clear to board.
Gun movement is good, carrying 2,000 rounds, 6.5 millimeter tracer ammo. All gauges green.
Roger, pilot, all crew, exit aircraft, clear rotors. Dallas Tower, Buffalo 1. Buffalo 1, go for Dallas Tower. Dallas Tower, Buffalo 1 on LZ Crystal, Pad 2, requests clearance to start. Buffalo 1, you're clear for spool up. Clear for Sewell, Buffalo 1.
Engines up. Gauges good. Green, green, green.
Dallas Tower, Buffalo 1. Buffalo 1, go for Dallas Tower. Dallas Tower, Buffalo 1 on LZ Crystal, Pad 2, request clearance for stability checks. Buffalo 1, permission granted for stability check. Clear for stability checks, Buffalo 1. Pilot all crew, stability checks completed, free to board. Dallas Tower, Buffalo 1, ready on LZ Crystal, Pad 2, request clearance taxi to the active. Copy that, Buffalo 1, you're clear for taxiway Bravo, hold short 2 right. Clear Bravo, hold short 2 right, Buffalo 1.